She'll get me all teary. That's cute. She says, I'm just hollering. She's just Holly Matthews. And I'm saying, that's because I've worked really hard at learning to figure out who that is. So, yay! I am excited to be here to talk to you. This is a subject that kept compelling me to share. I needed a venue. I needed a place to be able to share this message. And the information just kept flooding in and flooding in. So tonight, what you'll be getting, hopefully, will be life-changing. Will be something that you'll have some really powerful tools to be able to go home and go, now I know exactly what to do and what is coming at me. So let's start this whole process. As Confucius says, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. That's what we're going to do today. This being here today and talking about mass consciousness and how to get out of mass consciousness is really important for each one of us because it helps us learn to go back inside of ourselves. When we go inside of ourselves, we can then find out what truth is and then emanate that out, which is more of a higher unity consciousness, a oneness. So actually we're going to come out of the mass conscious thinking, center in ourselves, learn how to process information, and then we're going to take that and build a new unity of consciousness by projecting our powerful positive thoughts into that field. So I'm going to walk you through the steps of how to do that today. First off, anybody familiar with mass consciousness? Kind of generally, I mean, it's a little bit of a, big, vague term. So I wanted to kind of give it to you in smaller pieces here. So let's just say I have my own thoughts, my own feelings, my own emotions, my own experiences. And I have them in a little pebble and I'm going to toss them into the pond. And Corinne has her experience, and Spencer has his experience, Gwen has her experience, and Daniel has his experience. And everybody's just tossing them in. And each one of them has a rippling effect that when all of these go in together, it's creating a design, it's creating a frequency. So each one of us is putting in or inputting into this mass consciousness. Let me explain this on a little bit different level here. There are things called morphinogenic fields. Anybody familiar with a morphinogenic field? Okay, so I'll explain that a little bit. Let's say you were to go to one of the European cathedrals, okay? And as you walk in, have you ever had this experience of walking in some place and going, oh, feel this? Oh, yeah. That's because there's a huge morphinogenic field of belief, hope, love, and positivity in one place that has been fed there for generations of time. So it literally has an energy field around it that supports that. Let's say if we were to take Christianity, it's amazing what a gigantic field of morphinogenic energy that Christianity has, because so many are feeding into this huge field of miracles, of healing, of having a higher step in our evolution. They're looking to a master teacher and practicing his teachings. And so each time someone has an experience, they're feeding it into the Christ consciousness field, and it gets stronger and stronger. Think about how many thoughts every day are fed into that field. So we know that that's a huge morphinogenic field, as is Buddhism, as is Taoism. So we've got all these amazing morphogenic fields. You create your own morphinogenic field, and then you add it to whoever's belief systems are thinking the same way. So mass consciousness is a culmination of all these morphinogenic fields in one, and where Earth is at. It's like here's the grade, A, B, C, or D. Here's where Earth is at right now in the evolution of our vibratory field, of our ascension process. So mass consciousness can be positive or unpositive, right? So we are seeing the difference. So today we're going to talk a little bit about mass consciousness thinking, more so in the idea of what is bombarding us right now. Where is the mass consciousness thinking programs? Where are they coming from? So let's just talk about that for just a minute. Okay, And most people right now on Earth plane, we could probably agree, are considered more like sheep. So many are following blindly, waiting for someone to direct them or tell them where to go and what to do. And this has been because of a lot of infiltration of information. At a certain point, people just go, well, I can't do anything, I'm just one person. So, you just begin to start following along. What I want to give you today is some tools as to how to recognize that so we can stop that. The power of the people in this room alone, if each one of you were to take these principles and go out of this room today and put these into your life and just share it with one or two other people, oh my gosh, the impact this one group could have on the face of the world in a 30-day period, in a 100-day period. The power of multiplication, we've got all these people here. So let's talk about what it is, what are the sources that some of this mass programming is coming from. What's in this mass consciousness thinking that is keeping us stuck in a lower vibratory state. So why don't we just start throwing out some ideas here as far as what are some of the sources that we are having coming into our existence that are programming us.
TV.
All right, TV. What else?
Government.
Okay. I'm going to put this down here. I hope this doesn't offend anyone. Not all, but many. Career, sometimes. All right, what else? What are other sources?
Cell phones.
Okay, phones.
Or devices.
Okay.
Radios.
Yeah. School.
Oh, movies. Religion.
Friends.
Yeah. Family.
Wow. Big one, huh?
Mm-hmm. Lots of energy.
You think
there.
about the power of what mom and dad have done as far as programming you. And bless their hearts, when you come into Earth plane, they're going to teach you everything that they know about this 3D experience. You've just come from a really high vibrational, peaceful, beautiful existence, and you're coming to Earth plane, and they're going to teach you everything that they know about Earth living here. Wow. Talk about the big eraser. But they're really meaning well. They're trying to teach you what they've learned because that's what everybody else has told them. And they've lived here for a long time, so they know the rules. So if you do anything different than those rules, you're stepping out of that box. So if some of you are struggling with your spirituality in a sense of not being very compatible to where you came from in your families, this is a good thing. Because it means that you are opening up, that you're becoming more aware, that you're getting back to who you really are, the essence of who you are. All right, what are some other places here? I'm going to put down here. That one has a powerful effect. All right, let's also do
Movies.
Also culture for the specific country we live in. Ooh, that's a good one. I didn't have that one down.
Oh, yeah.
Culture, yeah, that's a big one.
Books.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Music.
All right, and along with music, I'm going to put down lyrics.
Yes, that's it. Not the music.
That's a big one. All right, so many kids nowadays talk about, I'm just listening to music. I'm not listening to words. I'm just listening to music. That underlying programming going on, big stuff. All right. So we've got a lot of things going on here. We even have, how about our health system? The doctors, psychiatrists, psychologists, not meaning to offend anybody here, because everybody's doing the very best they can do with the information they have, but a lot of information coming to us. How about the scientific community?
Oh, yes.
Ooh, wow. And so much of their information that they've given us for years, suddenly we're finding out that it wasn't necessarily true, that we are something so different than what was given to us, and they knew about it. So, interesting here. How about New Age thinking? You're here today. Am I not doing the same thing right now?
Yes.
All right, so let's put New Age thinking in there. That's one of the sources. programming. All right, let's see, I think we covered pretty much everything on that. So, on a personal level, each one of us takes the step. Think about it, just during a day, just kind of tally this up for a minute. How many times during a day are you infiltrated with one of these things? Not only how many times a day with one, but how many times per thing are you infiltrated with? So we have a lot of information coming at us, a lot of energy, a lot of emotions. I mean, I can watch TV for just a few minutes and then I'm just in saturation point. As far as the news, I can rarely watch the news. I just ask somebody to give me a synopsis of what's going on so that I can be able to keep a little bit abreast of it all. Mainly because if I know just what's going on or a glimpse of it, then I can take and put my thoughts in a completely opposite direction to counteract what's actually going on. So I'm just going to take a glimpse of it and then be able to do my part to help out with it all. So these things are helping to bombard us. Now, what is it about us? What are the challenges within us that are allowing that to happen? I think this is important to look at because this is something that we can change. So I'll just give you some ideas here and you're welcome to throw some out. Challenges as to what keeps us, yes, go ahead.
Lack of protection.
Oh, perfect. Anybody else have any other ones?
Our beliefs,
Okay.
peer pressure. Comfort.
Okay.
Easy.
Well, it's comfortable, so it's
Easy.
easy to, we listen to music, we do.
Complacency.
Yeah.
Out of comfort or, out of time.
Complacency.
Yeah.
It's awesome because as we listen to all this is all exhausting. The first thing it does when we come home after working a really long 40-hour week, what do we want to do on the weekends?
Watch TV.
Sit down and do nothing because we're so tired out from trying to earn a living and being bombarded. We just want to veg out and not think anymore. And then we sit down in front of this or these, and then we get more infiltration in a very relaxed state. So then we're going to go back and do the whole thing again. It's amazing. It's actually really a brilliant program that they've worked up in order to keep us out of being spiritual beings. They're just keeping us too busy and too tired
Yes.
in order to be able to. I'm going to put this down as one of the challenges. Is that high school deficient?
Close enough. Well, DE. When you're up here, I don't know if any of you had that happen. When you're up, it's like my spelling goes right out the brain because I'm making room for other stuff. So, all right. How about this one? This is a biggie.
Yeah.
Ooh, do you remember being taught that when you were little?
Yes.
Don't question. Don't. Why? Ooh.
Because somebody else knows better.
Yeah.
How about this one?
Yeah.
How many of us have given that away?
Yeah.
I think all of us at times in our life have done that very thing. All right, how about this one? Being run by our emotional or subconscious mind. Right. That's not right.
You are.
Okay, that's
We know what that means.
It's in our subconscious, right? We'll refer to that. It's so funny. I'll get back to it now. It's all on video. Yeah. All right. How about this one? Maybe we are wanting or seeking approval.
Yeah.
So we kind of go along with all this to be part and portion of it all.
Right.
All right, as we look to these as being some of the challenges that we encounter, what do we do to correct these? What do we do to correct our lack of protection? What can you do right now, right this very moment, what can you do to sheer up your protective powers?
Zip up your invisible suit.
All right, golden suit, jumpsuit, the onesie. All right, I love it. Okay, what's another aspect that we can do?
Trust yourself.
Trust yourself. Very good. Knowing that you know.
Knowing that you know, my favorite.
Knowing that you know. What about violet flame? Anybody use violet flame? I hope all of you go home and write this down if you've got a paper right now. Write down, make a note card, and put it in your car that says violet flame. So that when you get to work or when you get out of the car to go get groceries or wherever you're at, you see that and you go, ooh, take a second. Violet flame, and you just start with this beautiful violet color. If you want to use flames, that's really cool. It's a very cool feeling. The violet flame is a nice, cool, amazingly relaxing feeling. And you just get it bigger and bigger and bigger. Just have it encase you so you're this amazing violet ray, violet energy, which is highly protective. Then get out and go to your shopping. It takes, 10, 20 seconds to be able to do that. If you want to amp it up, just turn the knob up and, you want to do it slowly, you can do that too. Yes.
Holly, there's a book, The Violet Flame, and in it has all these like mantras that you read, and when I read it, that's what caused me to totally be able to reprogram myself and pull out that little programming by reading these mantras, and it gives them in the book. It's not a very big book, it's like $10. It's called The Violet Flame.
I think it's important. The color, the frequency, and what violet carries with it is a transmutation. So anything of a negative or lower nature is going to immediately take that energy and transmute it into something neutral. So it is it's a great clarifier, clearing device we want to use. All right, so that's one. So if we do that, let's erase that. So instead of lack of protection, these are going to be our answers. All right, how about peer pressure? How are we going to overcome peer pressure?
Earplugs.
I guess we can do that on a massive level.
Know what you know. Believe in yourself.
Self-confidence.
Okay.
Confidence.
How do we get confidence?
Know who we are.
Yes.
Ooh.
Thank you, Dale. I knew who that was coming from.
And who are we?
We are spiritual beings that experiencing a human existence.
Okay, beautiful. Anybody want to add?
beings.
Divine.
Divine. Spiritual beings. Highly intelligent, highly evolved. Spiritual beings who came here to experience, to grow, to learn, to have the capacity to enjoy and to emanate high, unconditional love, and to remember that we are the creators of our life. We are the ones creating our experience. So many light workers right now, anybody who's working on trying to ascend themselves and move to another state, move to a higher state of understanding. So many right now, lost train of thought on that one. Whew, flew right out.
That's all that energy coming at you.
Just for glory. That was funny. No, it was for glory. That was a really good thought, so I'm sure you'll come back around. All right, so yes.
I have a question. Can you choose the way that kind of fits for you? Because here lately, what I know is that music is very, like I have certain music that I'll listen and I'll find certain songs that I really love that take me to, where I feel much more loving and kind and peaceful. So like now sometimes when I enter into a situation where it's like I start feeling myself getting uncentered, but even some of the lyrics will come into my head, because there's one called I am one with the mother, I am one with love, I am one with the Father, I am one with God. Just those kind of things will start. Is it okay to use? But works for you as far
Oh,
as
definitely.
You just said the number one way. That's
Yeah.
that, to me, that is the fastest way to accelerating your spirit. Absolutely. There's such an amazing light language involved in frequency with music, especially when they're putting in all the different the tones on the Gregorian scale. I'm trying to remember. It's amazing. Yes. Oh my gosh, very transforming. I have a really nice library that I just keep adding to, because each music takes me to a different frequency level or a different place. And it has such an amazing effect on being able to take you out of the chaos and recenter you back into your heart again. I'm so glad you said that. Thank you.
I think what we think we speak to the presence of our life. Like when I went through the chemo, I had to change my whole perception on what chemo is. It had to become my magic potion of something that was going to work with the divine, to shoot like Pac-Man, all the little, I did this. I created this knowing in me. I didn't care what anyone else said about chemo. I didn't care what anyone said about any of it. It was my magic portion, along with the divine. And when I did that, I would just light up. I went by myself, I drove myself, my friends wanted to take me, I didn't want that. Because when you can create that within you, and you teach a child that, any affirmation that makes them confident, there will not be any peer pressure, even from a little child. I had to do that with my son when he was small, constantly, every morning, who he was. And it just, it is that building that confidence. That's how we build it. And our body listens. Mm-hmm. Our body reacts.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Why is that? We're all portions of the divine. Wow, when you feed it divine information, it's like, hungry, more and more. Keep giving me truth.
Every little
Let's
cell in my body is healed. Every little cell is wonderful. So mantras are great, but if you have something personal that's happening to you at that moment, make up your own. They're full of power and nuts and bolts.
I love that you say that. When a couple of years ago, as the media started to feed us the information about how bad the economy was, I had an interesting set of clients that would come in. Some came in with, I'll just pick restaurant owners, came in and their restaurants were going down. And then I had other restaurant owners coming in and they were building so big that they needed to make, a second store, and they were wanting to know whether to do that or not. And I started noticing the difference between the two. And the only difference was it had zip to do with the economy, and it had everything to do with their perception that the economy was bad.
Absolutely.
Because the ones who were succeeding and moving forward and expanding, they were the ones who didn't listen to anything that happened, because they had this strange understanding that people continue to eat.
Yeah.
Really?
It's a miracle.
And the other one was thinking, oh no, people don't eat anymore.
Yeah, because they're too broke.
Too broke. So they stopped, they started pulling back. I really have seen this again and again. Those advancing in their business are because they are not accepting that idea that the economy is in a bad situation, because they're creating their own. And what they're doing by saying that is they're connecting with other people who are saying, I choose not to listen to that, and I'm going to continue to go forward. They start gathering together everybody who has that thought process, and they continue to be abundant. Whereas with those who are saying, I'm going to pull back a little bit, hold on the purse strings, hold on to my money right now, not keep replenishing it. My whole idea, when my bank account starts getting a little bit low and I notice that, first thing I do is I go out and start spending money like crazy. Because I know immediately when I'm spending money, I've got a vacuum system that's got to come in, and it just starts flowing in. Doesn't make any sense to what we're hearing inside the box. Makes a huge world of difference outside of us. But I don't encourage you to go out and do that right now if that's the situation. Unless your thinking is such that I already know it. I already know it. I know that money comes in no matter what. I know that is always, it is more than sufficient supply always coming in. I never even question that. It is just a fact. That's the way my universe is set up. That's the way my reality is set up. So I've been the other route.
I didn't like the results of that at all. So I'm just saying, make sure the thinking is right, then you can try these processes and watch. Yeah.
Don't they call that a mindset,
Ooh, I
which
love
is
that.
such a closed frame of reference? And I think people do. They get into a place in their intellectual space where they just get set on that. They predict the outcome, and it's a mindset.
Well, we've been fed. We're being spoon-fed this stuff.
Sure.
So I'm giving you some different ways to think. All right, Daniel.
I agree with that, but I think it's, and I've noticed the same thing, but I think it's a little bit of a chicken and egg quandary, because from my experience, it's never the really good business owners who end up in this situation blaming the economy. It's the not so good business owners, and then as a justification for their own difficulties, then they end up blaming the economy. But I think there's another factor in there, and I don't think it's just a question of, I believe that there's always business out there and always money out there, which I always do. That's helpful, but by itself is not going to solve the problem. But I think that if you believe that there is, then you look at the situation and go, okay, this is a challenge, how can I respond to it? And if you're good at what you do, you make good decisions, and then you'll be successful.
And I think that difference that you were just talking about there, I love what you just said. One is a belief system, the other one is a pure knowledge system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you have to go through the belief system to get to the knowledge system. So,
Well, and what Daniel just said, it ties in back to what you were saying. If you come from a place of lack,
Yes.
and many failed businesses is because they are not risk takers. They come from a place of lack. They come from, well, we can't do this now. We can't expand here. We can't do this. Or they make poor decisions on a monetary value. So again, I feel if I'm starting to come from a place of lack, in my thinking or in my speaking, not necessarily spending, just those things, then you're not coming from a place of abundance.
let's take exactly what she said there. Everybody right here in this room has a challenge going on right now, right?
Yeah.
Stop thinking about something that's irritating you right now, okay? Something that's challenging you, making you grow. Maybe something you're resisting right now. Let's stop for a second and put those principles right into action. So if we have something that we are resisting and we don't like it, we're pushing against it, we're giving it more strength because we're giving it our attention.
Yes.
So if it's something that we don't, will somebody volunteer a situation? Anything going on? You don't have to give details or anything, just a couple. Yes.
I have a situation going on now with my exercise partners
Okay.
that are not, in my opinion, all that supportive. They're so heavily into their own physical health issues. The two of them single-handedly, I think, are keeping the healthcare system going. And I need not to be there anymore.
All right. Beautiful. There's a great example. All right. So here we are. We have exercise partners that are not really supportive and really dedicated to this. Now, what you are wanting in your existence and what you are emanating is, I'm all over this. This is the only thing I want. This is number one at my top priority list. Everything else falls under this right now. This is what I'm thinking about right now. I am feeling myself in the moment of having so much support system around me, so many people of my like mind, that I'm just going to stop and feel the saturation of what that feels like, to be able to call any one of them up at any moment and they'll be like, yeah, I'll be there in 5 minutes, ready to go. You go to that place and start feeling that rather than taking any of your concentration about the situation as is on those that you're dealing with causing the frustration. Take it right out of that. We heard it, we saw it, we got the information, what we need. Now, what do you want? And then you just start, that's all you're doing. And from this moment forward, in the past, that may have been my experience. But for now and for the future, I'm choosing to be supported and have partners that are amazing and helping me to meet my goals. I am so thrilled what it feels like to have that opportunity surrounding me. If that is the only place your focus goes to, it starts creating it rapidly. Those who aren't doing this will either go, something's happening to me. I feel like I need to make this more of a priority. They'll be calling you up and they'll start doing it. They will either make the change or they will gently float their way, doing their thing they want to do, and more will come in and they will replace them very quickly. In the meantime, it doesn't matter because your focus means I don't care what everybody else is doing. I'm going to give myself my own support. I'm going to be my best partner. When I go out and I exercise, I'm going to be my best partner. I'm going to have my MP3 player in. I'm going to be jamming out. I'm going to thoroughly enjoy it, and I'm going to enjoy that I don't have to go call anybody to do this, or I have to have anybody's approval or support. I'm just going to go be in the moment and be my best friend and be my support system. And as I do this, you start attracting other people who go, ooh, that feels good. I want to learn what she's doing. I want to tag on to that. I want to be a part of that. So it's a matter of changing your focus where it is into what you want it to be. Yes.
I just have my husband and I own a laundromat, and what I tried is when we first bought it, I thought we were going to go under because it was a lot worse than what I thought. So what I tried to do is start focusing not on the money, but on trying to make the laundromat the best laundromat that someone can come to. Like for a service to, I know it's silly, but people come because I decorated flower pictures and put patio stuff up and try to make it feel comfortable for them. So
in your mind, you actually were seeing it full of people because they like the environment.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wanted to be a service, like this is a service to others thing, instead of focusing on the money part of it.
Yes.
And we do get a lot of compliments on they love coming there. They, as much as you can when you're doing laundry, but
So here's the next idea with that one, to increase your sales part of it. What you're going to do is start seeing that every time you walk in there, every one of those machines is going. People are there. They're very happy. They're very calm. Nice music going. They're getting their stuff done. They're excited about the idea. You're finding every single person who has dirty clothes, you're finding them and giving them a home, an amazing place for them to be. And you're just, every time you walk in, all you're thinking is, man, I'm going to have to enlarge. I've got to buy the suite next to me because we're going to have to get big with them. When you're thinking that, and that's what you see, that becomes your reality. When I first started business, my big excitement was I kept thinking, if I can just get booked out a week in advance. Oh my gosh, the joy that would happen from being booked out a week in advance. That was just a huge, huge thing for me to get to. And I remember when it finally happened, and it took me about 6 weeks to get to that point, 6-8 weeks. When it happened, it was the most euphoric thing, and I thought, oh my gosh, if this feels that good, what does it feel like to be booked out 2 weeks in advance? So I just went, oh, I'm going to do that. So I started feeling what that would feel like, and the security and the different stuff that came from that. And I just continued to get those goals. And then at a certain point, it almost got like, oh no, this is not what I was expecting. I think I created something a little bit different than what I was actually wanting. But it's the process of. And that's the fun part. If we don't like it, then we're just going to change what it is that we're projecting out there. Wouldn't it be a terrible problem for you to have to enlarge your business and make more?
Yeah. The only thing that I still find is an issue are employees, because we have employees, and I am not a boss person, and I do not like having to tell people what to do.
So perfect. What are you going to do just what we're saying?
Well, and I guess envision having employees that support my picture of what I'm trying to provide for the customers. And
very quick learning, very self-starting, very self-motivated, very responsible, very honest. You write those things down, put that up on your board so you see that every single day. My employees are, and then you write that down, and that is the only thing you concentrate on. And what's going on currently, because the current is just what came up from the past, what we've thought in the past. We're restructuring it to what we want for the future. So it would be fun to see what's going on with there. All right, so we talked a little bit. Oh yeah.
Add one thing to that. They're grateful to be there. They're grateful to her that she is their employer.
Very gracious. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you'll have a nice list of qualities. That's good, thank you. All right, how do you get out of autopilot?
Part of that's complacency. People just get in that autopilot and become complacent and just go, they just ride in the wave. They're not even thinking.
Okay.
They're feeling.
To be aware of when you're in it.
Again, aware of the moment, being in the now.
Practice being in the now.
You hit it on that one, that's exactly it.
We're driving down the freeway, not even think what, and realize, I just missed my turn.
Right.
I mean, but that's just a metaphor for exactly what we do. And if we don't make a conscious decision to be aware of when we're in that state, then, but I think that's the first step to changing.
Conscious.
Decision.
That's a very, very
for awareness.
powerful word. All right, good. All right, how about deficient spirituality? What is it we can do to up our spirituality? What's just one thing we can do to up our spirituality?
Remember who we are.
And affirm it.
I agree. If I was to give you one tool or tell you to do one thing to absolutely monumentally change your life, spend 5-10 minutes every day with yourself. There's an amazing thing inside each of us. It's right in this area right here. It is your built-in guidance system. And it tells you immediately when something's truth and something's not true. If it's not truth, you feel that gut kick inside you and it goes, ugh. There's something that goes, I don't think so. You know this. It's built into you. A lot of us don't pay attention to it because we're so busy with the chaos of our ego head going all the time, listening to all of this stuff, trying to tell us. It's a matter of just going back in here and just saying, when I read something on the internet, first thing I do, is that true? I'm just going to listen. I want to know, is it true? If it's neutral, I'm good. I take it one way or the other. If there's no charge, if there's a positive light charge, I'm going, all right, we're working with truth here. There's some truth principles in this. If it's not, I'll just go, all right, next. I'm not even going to read it. I'm not even going to go into it. So it's just a matter of taking that time to calm the area, calm the mind, so that you become really strongly connected with this inner guidance system. This is part of the creator source in you. All right, fear of questioning. How do we get over the fear of questioning?
Knowing who we are.
All right, basically, wipe out all the keys and just go, that's not going well. You've been around Dale too long.
No,
not enough.
it's really true.
How do we get past that?
What did you erase?
Confidence.
Fear of questioning.
Fear of questioning.
Questioning.
Okay, if you're